Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of It's About Time. Today we're going to have another topic that we're going to discuss.
Whoa, wait a minute!
Who are you?
It's about time I'm back!
Holy shit!
Listen, guys, I'm sorry it's been so long. I've missed you terribly, tremendously. Not so much this guy, but I have not been down at the beach to show my sexy body off. Unfortunately, I apologize. But listen, welcome back to another episode. You guys know this is Drew. I'm Jared, of course. I know it's been so long. Welcome back to another episode. I know Drew's been covering a lot of great topics, including his GMT watch on the beach with his Cartier. And then also the last episode with the solar power, which I did a little special phone-in to that. Not as good as being in person, though, obviously.
Never as good.
And with my personality. Come on. And by the way, I hope everyone likes my new haircut.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
Thank you, sweetheart. You're the best.
With the world.
Ah, my God, it just gets me going. So, today we have kind of like a cool episode. I'm going to let Drew introduce this one.
Okay, well, a lot of people ask us, and this is a question that we do get a lot, especially from friends and other people as well. Basically, the topic is going to be, how do you wind your watch for automatics when it's not on your wrist?
Sure.
And the question is, you have two options. You don't. You let it wind down when you're wearing, if you have a quartz watch where you want to wear in the meantime, then go back to your automatic and reset it, and away you go. Or you use the second option, which is what's called a watch winder.
But wait, pause. Breaking news. Not really breaking news. What's on the wrist?
Oh, customary.
Hold on. I'll start. Alright, so I'm going to go behind this one so I can get this one in focus here a little bit. This one just doesn't want to focus at all. Well, it's kind of there. You guys know this is my Orient Monarch. This camera just kind of sucks with the focusing a little bit. I think it's because you're in the background too. So yeah, anyways, this is my Orient Monarch power reserve indicator, just no date. Blue Berger hands, as always. You guys just can't see this camera. I'm sorry, but it just kind of sucks a little bit. But actually, I was just telling Drew before we started the episode, I just re-regulated it. We'll have an episode on that with opening up case packs and all that stuff. Now I have this to within, like, literally when I'm wearing it during the day, like about a half a second or whatever. It's like ridiculous. Before it was running like 6 to 8 seconds, which was fine. I like to get it, we're like within that 2 or 3 seconds kind of category.
That's where I like to be. Yeah.
So again, you can re-regulate your own watch. We will do an episode on that for you. And so I got it exactly where I want it. Still beautiful. However, one of the watches I was telling I'm looking at, I just emailed Oris about. This is my shout out for today. The Oris Atelier Caliber 113 in-house movement. It's a very different kind of beast. But I'm going to tell you guys about that later. That's just my little shout out.
Speaking of Oris, this is what I have on my wrist today, which is
Oris Divers. By the way, it's not going to do a good zoom. Just
probably not, but it is the Oris Divers watch that I have. And Jared, what kind of watch is this? Yes, this is the regulator.
Right? Yeah.
What's unique about the regulator?
How did I guess or remember that?
You gotta know it.
Wait, explain to them what a regulator is.
A regulator is a unique watch we've talked about earlier in the season. And the good thing about the regulator is it breaks down how a watch was initially intended to tell time. Okay? On the left, you have the second dial over here. This represents the minute dial, and this represents the hours. So instead of having all three on one hand, which they do now, they combine all three, they broke it down. Yes, the hours, minutes, and seconds. And it does have the date on the bottom.
One of the things that I will say personally, listen, I get a lot of people out there saying, like, why the hell? Like, it's so confusing. I don't get... Again, we're speaking to the people out there, now our general fan base, but we're talking about the people who really, like us, deeply appreciate the mechanics involved, the art of watching. I mean, this is how they used to, seriously, this is how they used to tell time.
How clocks were broken down.
There were no hours, minutes, and seconds, because it was too hard for them to have... I just read a great article yesterday. The atomic clock, by the way, just turned 62 this weekend. And when they really first started telling time, it was with, months. And, like, much larger, like, years, periods of time. because, back, again, when they first made watches, their watches were accurate to within, like, half an hour a day if they were lucky.
Yep, and one great thing about Oris is they love to break down history. And this is one of their prime examples of breaking down history.
It's very cool, by the way.
Diver's really watch, cool. It goes down plenty. It goes, 20 ATM. And
it's like, that's like 2 feet on a watch.
Yeah, I know. It's got the date, it's got everything you want. Super Lume.
20 bars, like, ridiculous.
It really is. But it is a unique brand, and again, Jared will talk more about it later in the episode. But like I said, we're going to get right back into this, and the thing we want to talk about today is watch winders. It is really the only way you can keep an automatic watch running when you not have it on your wrist, and you don't want to wear it for a period of time.
Well, there's the exception to that. That would be my watch. And if you have a hand wind watch, that's the only exception. No watch winder, no nothing in the world will keep it wound except for, it's like when he first told me. Now I've been telling this to my customers in the store. When you start a car, there's only one way to do it. You have to either push a button, which nowadays a lot of cars do it, or you turn a key. One of the two. With hand winds, you must turn the crank. No watch winder, no motion of the wrist, no nothing will keep it going.
No, this is strictly for automatics, okay, which watch winders are for. And you'll notice a lot of them on eBay. Let's talk about the prices of watch winders. I see a lot of them on eBay, on the internet.
They go for like $500,000, like give or take.
About that. Mortgage of a house.
Yeah. Wow.
No, they usually start around $50, I guess, for a single one. They usually go. Most people get the option for the 2 to 4 range. They usually get the double.
Yeah, because a lot of times they have like a bigger collection.
Yeah, bigger collection.
But the however is that the more advanced ones. Let's just say, because I don't know anything more advanced than this personally, and I wish I had a picture of it. Actually, we're both going to our ones at the same time. So give us a second. Alright, so
he's gonna get a picture of the watch winder.
Well, no. I'm gonna get you a pic. Okay, you get a picture of a basic one. I'm gonna do the one that I know that is probably worth like tens of thousands of dollars.
Oh yes, because I'm sure that's so affordable to everybody here.
For some people.
Oh right. But I'm just saying, basically, I'll talk about the simple one first. Simple one, basically, what you're gonna have is a glass case. Inside the glass case is going to be more of a plastic coating. You open up the coating, and inside you will see a circle that goes like this. It goes back and forth. And all it does, basically, to the watch is constantly turn it back and forth as a simulation of the wrist movement. And those usually cost anywhere between $75 to $125. Basically, 2 to 4 watches. It can go at around $150. They're very popular with people who like automatic watches, and that's what they're basically for. The theory is to keep them running while they're not on your wrist, so they can keep a better regulated time. I'm not personally the biggest fan of watch winders. I don't own one specifically because, number one, they're loud. The motors on the watch winders tend to be on the loud side, so you often hear this loud humming sound.
This is disgusting, by the way.
Number two, they can get expensive, and number three, they break quite frequently.
Okay, so I'm going to show you guys like an example. Look at that.
Holy crap, it's like a wine chest.
Okay, so this would be for someone like Bill Gates or something, or someone who makes a lot of money a year. I'm going to come on the other side to show you. This is probably the most upper echelon scale of watch winding safe. And again, you can't really tell because the zoom isn't so great. But that is a full-on safe that houses as many watches as you want. And some of them, I believe, are watch winders, meaning that they are constantly rotating the watch, left, right, up, down, side to side, whichever way.
Most of them, however, look like this. Okay,
Yep.
You can pretty much see that. Like, that's exactly what I was telling you. I have that glass casing with the plastic shell, and then you have either a 1 or a 2.
This looks like you're going to temple.
I know. Well,
oh my God.
Those of you that are Jewish. And the other, you see these
rotate.
Adam. They rotate back and forth.
Christ.
And that's basically all they do. But they do get loud, okay? They are pretty temperamental. These things break quite frequently.
Well, let's talk a little bit about why you need them, right? Okay. They say with automatics, okay, they say that they run, first of all, optimally at full power reserve. Now, if you don't have a power reserve watch, the only way to know is just to wear it all the time or have it wound all the time. Because if you don't have a power reserve, you don't know. They say optimal conditions for a watch to keep the oils constantly going through and lubricated and keep the watch parts running smoothly is to have the watch running constantly. There's two sides of the argument. That, yeah, of course, because your watch is always going to be set. You can reset the time when it gets to be like 10 minutes off whenever you want. But then the other side of the argument is, yeah, the parts, even though there are jewels and rubies in it, which, some watches have like 21, they could go up to like 50 some odd jewels. Those are little rubies that you could see through this case back if you have a watch like that. And their job is to reduce friction between all the different parts of the watch. Now, when the oils start to break down, and especially if you're keeping the watch wound all the time, whether it's on your wrist or on a watch winder, the rubies themselves won't break down as much. They will a little bit, but it's more so the parts itself, and that's just because the oils are just being used. They're constantly going through the parts and going through the rubies, and the rubies, once the oil wears down, there's not much more that they can do.
Right, and they start breaking down. Think of it like an oil change. When your car is constantly running, after a while, that's why they recommend you get an oil change after a certain amount of mileage. Because you
have to.
You have
if
to.
you don't,
your
your
automatic
engine's
watches.
gonna burn out.
But what this keeps doing, the watch winder, it keeps the car running. And do you want to keep the car running all the time? To me, not necessarily.
Right.
It's always good to give them a break.
I would say there's only two exceptions to this rule, right? And one of them has to do with the ORS that I was talking about before. If you do have like a perpetual calendar watch or an annual calendar watch, you do not want to have it stop. That's the last thing you want to do. Because it's constant to reset that. It could literally take you like a full day just to reset it between the pushers and the crown and the.
He's absolutely right, and
it's crazy.
It's one of the reasons why I got my Epos was because it has a 4 quick set function, which means all the features on the watch are quick set, which means I can quick set it within 30 seconds.
Now there are also some people too that have a larger collection. Let's say maybe 8 to 10, or to me, a larger collection I view as like, somewhere in that range. I mean, it could be 50. I mean, 50 is insane. Can you agree with me? Having 50 watches, that's a little insane.
Yeah,
that's a lot.
I mean, I'm at like 32.
That's still a lot, but I think like 8 to 10 is like a relatively healthy number in terms of like an average for people to have.
It's a good collection, yeah.
But there are some people out there that, Now again, automatics are not hard to set for the most part. They're not hard to get started. You just wind the crown, get it going, set the dates up, and just wear it. I mean, it takes all of 5 minutes, not even, or whatever it is. So there are some people that just want to constantly keep a watch going because they're just like, okay, I don't want to spend the time to keep resetting it. Here, I'm just going to grab it and go. There are some people that do that, and they just like to keep their watch on the watch winder, and that's fine. I mean, let me ask you this question.
Yep.
How long consistently, in your opinion, would you say to keep a watch going for before you should maybe give it like a rest?
Me, I don't like to run now any of my watches more than a couple weeks, and then I give them a rest.
Okay.
Because again, what we talk about, especially with automatics, you're dealing with atmospheric pressures, you're dealing with magnetic fields, you're dealing with gravity, you're dealing with positions, you're dealing with knocking them around, you're dealing with water.
And they're sensitive parts.
Sensitive parts. A lot of these factors, therefore, you don't want to put a watch through too much. I mean, there are some watches that are designed for it, but when you have a lot of watches, especially like I do, I like to give them all a little luck. That's why when I come to you every episode, I'm pretty much wearing a different piece.
Now, how long should you, let's go to the flip side of this, right? How long should you keep a watch not running for before you should be like, I really got to start this up? Because if not, some of the oils, they can clog up a little bit and they could cause, a little bit more friction, maybe a little slower start.
You don't want to leave them stagnant for more than a couple months. Because, again, you're going to run these, like you said, oil dries out if you don't use it. It's the same thing in a car. If you didn't run a car for 2 years, it wouldn't run well when you turned it back on.
It's going to make some weird noises.
It's the same thing because the oil starts clogging up, and the same thing with watch oil. It's not indestructible. So when you have oil that starts to harden up, then it starts affecting the other gears and the parts, and then the watch won't run right. So I like to keep everything, if it's not quartz, obviously, I'm strictly automatic, all my automatic watches within rotation every couple months. This way they get use and they get a feel, and they keep running right. It's just like a
So
car.
you're not a fan of winders,
I'm not a
obviously.
big fan of it. No, I don't have one.
And in my opinion, honestly, I'm not a fan of them either. And then also the other thing, like we were mentioning before, I know there was another topic brought up was like watch cases. I'm not against them, but I will personally say, and you know this about me since I started with the watch, since you got me into the watches. I've always been a fan of keeping that. And I did have a watch case at one time.
Mm-hmm. Which we'll talk about next episode. I promise, Ashley.
But I personally prefer, because in terms of value and sentiment, and just keeping everything together. I mean, if the watch comes with it, if it doesn't, whatever. But I prefer to keep the watches in their boxes or whatever it is.
Most of them do have nice boxes that they do come in.
Yeah.
Again, like we will touch that. That's a great segue because next episode,
Wifey just came home.
we will get into the watch boxes and the cases that you can buy for them and the cases that they come in. And what is better.
I actually wanted to mention one more thing about watch winders too. Is interesting. As great as they are, one of the things they say that they do this. I don't think that they do personally. They really don't simulate the wrist movement.
No,
they really don't. I mean, it's just imagine my wrist doing this, for just going around, and that's not what I do all day. I mean, I move back and forth. I move left, up, down, and that affects a watch greatly. So,
my watchmaker that I go to a lot, his name is Matt. Hopefully, we'll have you meet him in a future episode. He says that the watches get to know you.
And it's true.
It
we
really
both
is true.
experienced
And
this.
people they look at us like we're five heads when we say that, and we say no.
That's true.
Dave is a perfect example of this. Okay, he has worn that Oris.
By the way, I meant to ask you this, right? Because I did see the first episode when you did the Cartier GMT on the beach.
Yep.
Now what? Now has he reset it at all since he's gotten it?
He's worn it about 3 months, and it was about 30 seconds now off after 3 months, which is
and he hasn't reset it once.
No, he has not left. It has not.
He
left
just
his
takes it
wrist.
off at night.
Yep, he does the same routine,
What?
and the watch has gotten to know him so well.
What position does he leave it at night? Do you know of, or you're not
Is
sure?
Dave here?
I was just wondering.
But
if you know.
I had no idea. But he now has it running within less than a half second.
That is just stupid.
Insane.
That's stupid.
But it's a perfect example of what Matt was saying. The watch gets to know you, so it's used to its normal run. If you keep,
that's why what I did with this is I re-regulated it. I gave it about a month or 2 months to break in a little bit, and I saw where and a watch eventually sells. Like when you first get a watch, it may go this and like that. Give it a month, give it 2 months, whatever, just to settle, and then it'll, like this started running consistently. So I'm like, all right, now I know where it is. Now when I was regulating this, I mean, I pushed it back. It was running slow. Then you have the most sense. You have to know what you're doing with this.
Right.
If you don't know what you're doing with it, please do not open up a case back.
We'll get to that.
We're going to do that.
But
Absolutely.
watch cases and boxes will be our next episode. Finally, we're going to get to that sucker. I want you to definitely stay tuned for our 4th of July special.
I will be there.
Which
I will be there. You know what? Here, I'm going to throw something out there for you, okay? Let's do an episode every day that we're down there.
Yeah, that's what
Every
we're
day.
going to do.
An episode every day.
We're definitely doing the Q&A, which we've been talking about
Let's
for
do it
quite
over
some
July
time.
4th.
What's that?
Let's do it over July 4th.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
perfect.
We're going to do the phone Q&A in person.
And
everything.
we could even do a
Emails like
Q&A
that.
each day with different people and
Right.
things like that. We could even go up to random people on the beach and just be, do you guys have any questions about watching? Who
Oh,
cares?
that's going to be interesting. Yeah,
That would be kind of fun.
Exactly. So we're going to really test
For
out
good
the
weather,
market
by the
down
way.
there.
For
Yeah,
good weather.
Exactly. And your quick shout out to Oris, by the way.
Yeah, it's just, one of the things that, I'm a fan of, I've become huge into power reserve watches. It's like the fuel gauge on a car. Listen, imagine if you didn't have a fuel gauge on a car. You would have no idea how much power or how much fuel or anything. You'd be driving your car and then all of a sudden this gas light would be on there. Oh shit, I gotta go fill up or something. You don't know where the nearest gas station is sometimes. It's kind of like with automatic watches. Quartzes, whatever, that's one thing. But when you're dealing with automatics, there's only a certain amount of power reserve in it. So the Oris Artelier caliber 113, they started with the 110, I think it was like 3 or 4 years ago. They've advanced each year, the 110, 11, 12. My least favorite is the caliber 112. I'm just not a fan of it. And then they have the 113 now. What the 113 does, it kind of takes the moon phase and the day-night indicator out, which I love. I don't need a day-night. I mean, it's helpful, I guess, but I don't need it. This one has a full calendar. It's the months and the weeks. So you have the months that correspond to the weeks, which is, and I don't think any other watchmaker I have seen, even luxury or non-luxury, has done that with a watch, right?
No.
And
pioneer.
it also has the day and the date with the time, a 10-day power reserve, water resistant to 5 bar, which is really solid.
Insane, yeah.
But I just emailed Oris
It's like
about
the
it.
king of all hand-wind watches.
It's kind of I mean,
really
the
is.
only other watch that I know of, I think it has a 30 or 31 day power reserve. But again, that costs like $50,000, which most people are not in the market for that. But that's my huge shout out. I just emailed Oris. I think it may be available toward the end of this year. Obviously, I wouldn't go through retail to get it. I don't want to get raped. No offense, I'm just saying. So
This day and age, let's be politically correct.
yeah, I'm just saying. I apologize. I just
Fondled.
But yeah, I'm really thinking about getting that watch. Obviously on the stainless steel and the black face with the silver hands and the back. Oh my!
It's gonna be insane.
That is not only a dress piece, but it's also an everyday piece.
That watch is
And-
gonna be insane.
But also, hand winds are more durable than automatics.
Yes, they
as
are.
well.
They're made.
Do you have a shout out, by the way?
I do.
I just want to see if you.
Enicar. Okay,
Wait.
you're gonna look at me. What?
Wait a minute, just spell it.
Enicar.
Enicar. I'm gonna look this one up.
Enicar is
'cause
an
I don't
old
know.
brand. Okay, Enicar was actually around for a long time, almost about 100 years. I had one in college. I sold it, and then I regretted it. I actually bought another one over the weekend to actually put in my car when I need a watch if I have something to go in for repair. But I will wear it. It's a day date. They do have triple dates. They have a lot of different stuff. And they're really nice pieces.
So they're completely vintage.
Oh, they're vintage. They do have some new pieces that just came out for about $200 on eBay
Are these automatics or
with 28, 24 ETA movements in them. Fantastic. $200? Fantastic. They're on the smaller side, 36 but they're.
All right, so it's like Rolex.
I'll show them to you later. They're really
see
really
that.
nice watches, and what they're known for is the Saturn. They have a picture of Saturn on their watch dial.
You said you ordered it already?
Yeah.
You know when you get it in, you gotta
I'm gonna have to bring it on for one of the episodes. Really
I wanna
cool,
see it.
really cool, interesting. You can't really find them too much anymore, but they do have a couple new things that they bring out just as like tester pieces, and that's what's on eBay right now. So I figured, I'd get one of those. Again, a couple $100, $100.
That's actually really solid for like an entry level.
Yeah.
Just
And it's Swiss. It
automatic
definitely is
piece
Swiss.
and stuff,
So
yeah.
I'm. Thank you for coming back out with a couple things, and I got a vintage one, so I'm glad to add it to my collection and show you guys.
Wait a minute. Do you remember? I'm gonna go off topic just a little bit. Do you remember the first watch you ever bought yourself?
Yes.
Which one was it?
I went to Switzerland, and I bought the Tissot PR100 Auto Quartz.
You actually went to Switzerland to get it.
Yes,
Why were you in Switzerland?
because I was in high school on a trip, one of those wonderful trips where they take you all over Europe.
Wow.
And we went to Lake Luzerne in
You know,
Switzerland.
how dare you go to Switzerland and buy a quartz watch?
It wasn't well, it's an auto quartz. It was
Oh, okay,
automatic
so-
and quartz.
But still, how dare you?
It was both. What happens with an auto
So,
quartz?
is
Real
it,
quick.
So, all right, so it's like a tuning fork.
Well, no. What happens with an auto quartz is it's automatic. As if you
Oh, so it's like a Grand Seiko of today?
kind of if you leave it non-running for more than 2 days, the quartz feature kicks in. So after the automatic stops and it winds down, then the quartz feature will keep the time and kick in. Tissot was the first one to really pioneer that.
Do they have that anymore?
Yeah,
Those kinds of
they have
watches?
them all over the place. The auto quartzes, Tissot does that all the time. But that was my first watch I've ever owned. That was a good actually Q&A question. You just probably one.
I can't. I mean, listen.
Jackass.
I'm not as familiar with the auto quartzes, but
That was I had it for 10 years, so yeah, I know it very well.
And what happened to it?
It broke down, and then Tissot couldn't even fix it.
Oh, Tissot.
So anyway, but thank you guys for joining us today for Watchminders, and we will definitely see you next time on another episode.
Yeah, I'm
of-
thinking, is the next time going to be around July? Well, actually, you know what? There's some big news for this guy. Tell him what's going to be happening toward the end of this month.
I'm getting a new house, so
We're gonna do an episode
We're gonna
there,
have a
too.
couple episodes there on the deck in the hot tub. Damn it!
Oh,
so.
shit, maybe we can get like 2,500 viewers again.
I'm going to do a whole episode on is it smart to take your watch in the hot tub? Shh, don't tell them. So that's what we're going to
You
end
know what? I'll
up
let
doing.
you take the Omega Constellation in there. How
Yeah,
does that
absolutely.
sound?
I've done that before. Okay, but again, not giving it away. But again, we'll see you next time on another episode of It's About Time.
Peace.